What's going on, guys? I'm Built, and welcome back to another Minecraft Bedrock farm tutorial video. I wasn't planning on recording a video today. I have a ton of editing to do and a ton of videos backed up. However, since Mojang released a bug fix that's going to practically cripple half of our mob farms, I figured that I was going to have to release my powdered snow farm because the powdered snow is going to be Mojang's official fix for all of our mob farms. This powdered snow farm is very simple and easy to build. However, it is pretty expensive on the iron side. So if you don't already have a iron farm, I would highly recommend building one. That way you have plenty of iron. I have two iron farms that I will be releasing on my channel. One's going to be a very easy and simple iron farm, which is relatively small and easy to build, just like this powdered snow farm. However, the other one is a little bit larger and it does put out a little bit more iron, so it's nice to have options and you can choose to build whichever one of those that you like. I will put the links for both of those inside of the description as soon as they release on my channel, and I will also put a card in the top right now inside of the video whenever the smaller one releases. That way you have the smaller, more compact version inside of the top right card. If you want the larger one, you can find that one inside of the description below. To use this farm, you are going to have the weather cycle enabled inside of your world. So as long as it rains, you will be able to produce tons and tons of powdered snow. And these things actually fill up very quickly, believe it or not, whenever it's actively raining. So the way this farm works is whenever you are AFKing here, you should eventually get some rain that happens. And whenever it starts raining, these cauldrons are going to fill up very quickly. At the same time, the AFK player will fill their entire inventory full of items that are not empty buckets, and they will also put one stack of empty buckets inside of their hotbar. Next, they will select the buckets inside of their inventory, jump inside of the minecart, and turn the farm on. They're going to face up and hold down the harvest button. And you can either hold this down with a hairband if you're using a controller on a console, or you can use a auto clicker if you are on mobile or if you are on a computer. Once this cart comes all the way back over here, you're going to gather more empty buckets and it's going to refill your inventory. Once you refill the inventory, the process is going to start over and then harvest the next row of powdered snow all throughout here. And then it's going to complete the cycle over. At the same time, you have a hopper minecart that's following directly below you, picking up all of the powdered snow buckets that are falling on the ground and then placing them into your storage chest. All of your powdered snow will end up here inside of your storage containers, and you will need quite a bit of storage. That way they will not overflow with all of the non-stackable items that are put into your storage. Before we get started, I want you to take a look all the way around me. We have mountains all the way around me, and they are very diverse mountains with a bunch of different biomes. Directly behind that mountain there, we have a plains biome with a village. Behind that mountain over there, believe it or not, we have a woodland mansion, and if you look at my coordinates, you will notice that I am right next to spawn, like literally right next to spawn. These mountains also go right all the way up to 255, and again, they are right next to spawn. It is literally one of the perfect seeds that I have found. If you want the seed number for this, I'm going to drop the seed number at the very end of the video, so be sure to keep watching until then. That way you do not miss the seed number. If you are looking for a perfect world to start your Minecraft survival world in, this is the world that you want to start it. What are you saying? Enough jibber jabber. Let's get to building this thing. Everything that you're going to need in order to build this farm is going to be inside of the description below. Oh, and while you're down there, if you don't mind, drop a like if you like the video. It really does help out the channel and it helps my channel grow. And if you have not yet subscribed, then please consider subscribing. I have a ton of new stuff coming up on my channel, and you surely don't want to miss any of it. All right, the first thing that we need to do is find a suitable location in order to build this farm. You need to look for a cold biome with snow on the ground. That way you know that it actually does snow here. The last thing that you want is to build this entire farm and to not have it snow. If you want to be absolute sure, you can wait until it actually does snow, and that way you know for sure you're not going to be building the farm and not have it work. You need to have about a 20 by 20 area cleared out. That way we have plenty of room to build, and this area does need to be chunk aligned. I do have a tutorial on how to chunk align if you are unsure of how to do it. It does use the leaf method, so you're going to have to harvest a few leaves, and it takes less than a minute to learn how to do it and less than 5 minutes in order to mark out the entire chunk. If you're interested in that, I will post a video for that chunk alignment video down below inside of the description, so you can check it out down there. If you are open to downloading any resource pack, I'm using the Foxy No-Tail Markers resource pack here, which uses a armor stand and also a banner inside of it. Since it's a resource pack, you do not have to enable cheats, and it will work on your regular worlds as well as your realm, so it's very nice and handy to do, and it also has a ton of functions. In this resource pack, I can go ahead and give him a banner, and then I can crouch and click on him to change between a bunch of different modes. The fourth one that I'm going to click on is going to highlight a bunch of different chunk borders, and it has all of these chunk borders marked out. This is just one of the few things that this resource pack does, and it is very, very handy, especially if you are a farm creator like I am. It is very handy and saves a ton of time. If you do decide to use it, then I do greatly encourage you to go to Foxy No Tail's channel and give him the thumbs up and thanks that he deserves. You can also download this on his website, and I will link all of the information down below for his website and also his YouTube channel. So thanks for all of your hard work, Foxy. It's greatly appreciated. So what we're going to do at this point is grab our solid building blocks, and we are going to completely wrap all the way around the outside of this chunk border. Once you are done, this is what you should have. And again, the inside should be the chunk with these on the outside of the chunk border. Inside, you should have a 16 by 16 square. Next, we are done using the chunk line, so we can go ahead and remove this, and that's going to get rid of those chunk lines for us. Now we have this entire chunk marked out, and we can start building inside of it. Next, we are going to go ahead and grab some redstone torches and also some blocks that are different than the ground blocks that you are building on. That way we know wherever we place the torches underneath. We are going to go all the way to the right hand side of this, and we're going to count to the left by 3. 1, 2, and 3. Then we're going to remove this entire row all the way across. And then we're going to remove the second layer down, making this too deep. Next, we are going to take our redstone torches and fill this entire trench with redstone torches all the way across. And then we're going to go to the opposite side, and we're going to do the same thing, go 3 towards the right, and then we're going to remove this all the way across. And then we're going to remove this layer all the way across as well, digging down by 2. Then we're going to fill this all in with redstone torches. Next, you're going to take those blocks that are different than the surface blocks and go ahead and fill in directly over top of all of those redstone torches. Next, you want to go to the corner that you want your door to be at. So we're going to go to this corner here for me. And then we are going to remove this block here and this block here, digging down by 1. And we're going to go to this row of torches that we placed in. We're going to go to the left by 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we're going to go on the 5th one here, and we're going to remove a 3rd row. And then we're going to dig down by 2. Place in all of our torches. And then we're going to cover up those torches as well. Next, we're going to go to the middle of the left row here, and we're going to remove these 3 blocks. And then we're going to remove these all the way across. So you should have a 16 by 3 trench that is 1 block deep. Next, we're going to go ahead and grab our hoppers. And we're going to remove these 3 blocks here. And you're going to go to this left-hand side here. You're going to crouch place a hopper here and here. And then you're going to crouch place a hopper going into the side of this hopper here. So both of these should be facing into the blocks on the other side, and this hopper should be facing into this one. Next, we're going to make a row of hoppers feeding into this hopper here. So we're going to crouch place hoppers all the way in a row until we run into the other side. All of these hoppers need to be feeding into the neighbor hopper, feeding in this direction here. Go ahead and repeat this for the next 2 rows. And again, make sure that all of your hoppers are facing in the direction that your chest is going to be. Next, you can go ahead and grab your chest, and you want to go to your line of hoppers here and remove this block here and here. This is where your double chests are going to be. And you want to remove these blocks on the right hand side of your hopper line. Go ahead and place down a double chest here, and then we can dig down by 2, place down another double chest, dig down by 3, and place down another double chest. Next, we can remove all of these blocks to the right hand side, remove the blocks underneath the chest, and then we're going to feed a hopper into this one and a hopper into this one. That way everything's flowing downhill. Next, we are going to grab our rails and also our powered rails, and we are going to start placing them down. You want to go over here to this hole that you dug out, and you're going to place down a powered rail here, a regular rail here, and then a powered rail here. Next, you want to place down 4 regular rails, a powered rail here, and then you're going to crouch and place 5 more regular rails. Then you're going to place 2 more powered rails, a regular rail here and here. Then you're going to place powered rail, 5 more of your regular rails, a powered rail here, 4 more of your regular rails, and then you are going to place down 2 powered rails, and then a regular rail here and here. Make sure that you place this one first, that way this does not connect to this powered rail down here. Then you're going to place down another powered rail here and here, and then continue this all the way across until you get to that end corner there. And then once you are done getting carpal tunnel from placing so many rails, it should look just like this, and you should end inside of this corner here. On this corner here, the last 3 rails needs to be 3 powered rails. That way you go into this solid block here and bounce off. That way you go all the way back and go all the way back to the start. Next, we can go ahead and grab our hopper minecart, and you're also going to want your solid blocks as well. Go ahead and place your hopper minecart right here. And then we're going to take our solid blocks and we're going to build up. And then we're going to bring this all the way across the top of these rails. You want to make sure that your floor is on this level here and that you cover up this entire thing directly above all of these rails. It's very important that you make sure that there is no mobs inside of here, including all of the little tiny snow bunnies, as they will keep your cart from going back and forth. So whenever you're closing this up, make sure that there is nothing underneath it. Well, hi, just checking for snow bunnies. Looks like we're all clear down here. Let's go ahead and close this back up. At this point, you should have this platform here and it should all be covered up. Next, you're going to go ahead and grab your solid building blocks again, and we're going to bring the outside of this all the way up by 1. At this point, you can go ahead and grab your redstone blocks, your powered rails, and also your regular rails. You want to go over here to the corner to where you want to start, and we are going to count to the right by 3. 1, 2, and 3. We're going to remove this entire row going all the way across. Be very, very careful that you do not break any of the rails directly below it. And then we're going to go to the other side here and count to the left by 3. 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to remove this entire row going all the way across. Again, be very careful not to break any rails. Go ahead and take your blocks of redstone and go all the way across here. And then we're going to fill this all the way across with the blocks of redstone as well. At this point, we're going to go over to the corner that we want our door at, and we're going to count to the left by 3. 1, 2, and 3. We're going to remove that third block in, and this is where our door is going to be. We then want to grab our regular rails and our powered rails, and we're going to start with a powered rail here, a regular rail here, and a powered rail here. Then we're going to bring this all the way across with regular rails, and then place a powered rail here and here, a regular rail here and here, and then a powered rail here and here. Next, we're going to bring this all the way across with regular rails again, powered rail, and then whenever we place in our regular rail here, we want to place one here first and then one here again. Then we can go ahead and continue on with our powered rails, regular rails, and so forth until you get to the very end. Remember, once you get to the very end, to end it with 3 powered rails going up against that wall. And then once you get done placing in all of your rails, this is exactly what it should look like. Again, having all of your powered rails illuminated, and this one here should not be illuminated. Next, we're going to need our solid building blocks, our water buckets, our glass panes, our regular glass, our packed ice, our hoppers, our chest, our signs, and also our droppers. We're going to turn our attention here to this corner to the left of us, and we are going to count to the left by 2. 1, 2. And on this third one here, we are going to turn towards the outside and place a double chest here and here. Then you're going to go to the side of it. You're going to remove this block here and this block here. And then we're going to grab our hoppers. We're going to face a hopper into the side of that chest and then face a hopper into the side of that hopper there. Next, we're going to remove these 6 blocks going to the left and replace these with packed ice, just like this. Then we're going to take our glass panes and place our glass panes all the way across these, including the hoppers. Then we're going to take our regular glass and place glass here and here. Next, we're going to jump on the other side here, and we're going to bring our packed ice out by 2. And then we're going to bring it all the way across, just like this. Next, we're going to go to this corner piece of packed ice and remove this. Place down a temporary block right here, and then place down a dropper with the output facing straight up. You can go ahead and remove that temporary block. And then we're going to take our solid blocks and build out by 3, and then bring this all the way across until it runs into your chest here. We can go ahead and bring this up 1 more row, and then build this over. Then we're going to grab our signs, and we're going to place a sign here. And we're also going to place a sign here. At this point, we can go ahead and take our water bucket, and you want to waterlog this bottom sign first, and then we can go ahead and waterlog this upper sign as well. The water should start flowing towards these hoppers over here in the corner. Next, in order to make this a continuous loop, we need to go down here, and on the left hand side of this dropper, we're going to place in a hopper there, and then we're going to bring a hopper line all the way across to where this hopper is going to go underneath this double chest here, and then that's going to make a continuous loop. Now all we have to do is power this, and it will be able to work entirely all by itself. At this point, we can go ahead and take our solid blocks, and we can place down our solid blocks here. And then we're going to wrap this all the way around the outside diameter of the building. And then we're going to wrap this all the way across once more. I do apologize for this next part, but you want to go ahead and grab your cauldrons, and then you are going to place in all of your cauldrons all the way across this entire roof. And you want these to be 2 blocks off of the ground block that you're standing on. And once you are done getting carpal tunnel from placing in so many cauldrons, this is what you should end up with, an entire roof full of cauldrons in order to collect all of the powdered snow. Now at this point we can go ahead and grab our solid blocks again, and we're just going to place a roof on top of this to keep it from freezing, and these signs will also keep it from freezing as well. Next, we're going to add in all of the redstone that's responsible for running this farm. It's very simple and easy to do, but you are going to need your solid blocks, your redstone repeaters, your levers, your redstone dust, your glass, sticky pistons, and also observers. So what you're going to do is come down here and you're going to go to this block here, remove this block here, these 2 blocks here, and then these 3 blocks here. Next, you're going to take your solid blocks and place a solid block here and a solid block here. Then we're going to place a repeater right here facing into this block on a 4-tick delay. Next, we're going to take a piece of glass and place down a piece of glass here. And then we're going to take our solid blocks and place down a solid block here, and then 3 more to the right hand side of it. Next, grab your repeaters again, and we're going to place a repeater here and here. Both of these repeaters do need to be on a 4-tick delay as well. And then we're going to run our redstone up here, connecting into those repeaters. Next, we're going to place in our redstone here, 3 pieces, and then we're going to come up here, remove this block here and this block here, place down a piece of redstone here and a lever here. So now whenever you turn on this lever, it should send off this cart here after a short delay, and then whenever you turn off that lever, that rail should turn off as well. This one will also send off the cart that's going to be here. However, we're not going to place that down just yet. Next, we're going to power this dropper over here. So what we need to do is grab our temporary blocks and place down 5 temporary blocks here. We're going to go to this temporary block close to this dropper. We're going to remove that temporary block, and then we're going to turn all the way around and place an observer facing into this block here. And the output arrow should be facing directly into that dropper. Next, we're going to jump up here, remove this temporary block once more, and we are going to place in another observer facing into that observer. And the output arrow should be facing towards the right hand side. Next, we can come up here, remove these 2 temporary blocks, and we're going to place a sticky piston here facing towards that observer. And then we're going to briefly power this. That way it pulls that observer away, breaking our observer clock. Now, whenever this is powered, it's going to turn on our observer clock, making this dropper click over and over. And whenever the farm gets turned off, it's going to pull that away and shut off our observer clock. Next, we can go ahead and remove this lever and this temporary block and place down a solid block here. We're going to place down our redstone here and then bring it all the way across until it connects into this redstone here. Now what we want to do is finish up a few finishing touches, so you can go ahead and go to where your door is, and we're going to place down a stair block here and a stair block here. That way you can get up here. Go ahead and grab your iron door and place down your iron door here. On the left hand side, we're going to place a button here, that way we can get in. And then on the right hand side, on the inside, we're going to place another button here. You want to place it on the right hand side, that way you're not interfering with any of the redstone over here in the corner that runs the farm. And then next, you can go ahead and place down your regular minecart. We can go back outside, and then we want to come over here to this chest over here. And inside of this chest is where you're going to place all of your empty buckets inside of. You're going to place in a ton of empty buckets, and of course this is dependent on how long your AFK session is going to be, and of course how much powder snow you want to gather and how often you want to fill this thing up with buckets. Next, we can go ahead and clear our entire inventory and fill it entirely full of a filler block, and then we can go ahead and grab another stack of buckets, and then we can turn on the weather and wait for these guys to fill up. And I just changed it to raining, and as you can see, these things fill up incredibly fast. This is real time, this is not sped up at all, and you can see these things fill up really quickly. So I'm going to give it a few minutes to let it go ahead and fill them all the way up to the top, and then we'll see if the farm works. Since we're waiting for this thing to fill up, I should mention that it would not be too terribly difficult to go ahead and place a roof on this. That way you don't get any snow inside. And then go ahead and place down a platform filled with lava sources and dripstone underneath, and then you have a really easy, simple lava farm. You can also place water above the dripstone instead of placing in the lava, and then you have yourself a easy water farm, which I don't really know why you would need that, but hey, the option is there if you decide to. So this thing is just about filled up, so I'm going to go inside of here and throw the game on survival. And now that we're on survival, we can go ahead and jump in here, turn on the farm, and then we're going to start harvesting all of this powdered snow. And as you can see, now that we made our way back over here, we're getting replenished with empty buckets, and we are able to continue to harvest all of the powdered snow. The only issue that I have found with this is right above the curved rails. These are not hardly ever going to be harvested, and that is because the game kind of skips over the curved rails and does not spend any time at all there, so it doesn't really register that you're underneath them. You can just come up here and harvest them on your own and do it manually. However, these are going to be skipped over. If you don't want these here, you can go ahead and place another row of solid blocks on this end here and this end here directly over top of the curved rails. Other than that, you will just have to harvest the sides of these manually. In the short time that we were AFKing, we got almost a double chest pull, and that was really from one lap going back and forth on the rails. And then we also got a fox that I guess I just woke up. Sorry, buddy. So that's about it, and it looks like the farm is working the way that it should. I know that I made a revision adding a delay into it kind of mid-video, but the additional materials that were required for that has been updated inside of the material list. So everything that you have in the material list is up to date and exactly what you need in order to build this complete farm. With that being said, there is only one thing left to do, and that's to go cliff diving. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll see you next time. Bye. I'm just kidding, I wouldn't do that to you. Anyways, I wanted to show you exactly where I spawn, which is directly below me inside of this little bamboo forest. And where we are at, I did crank up my render distance, that way you guys can see far away. But right at spawn, we have these mountains, and they do, as you saw from the one I jumped off of, go all the way up to 255. And as you can see, there is a ton of caves and all kinds of gorges and stuff built into them. We also have the ocean right here. We have jungle biomes all the way around here. Tons and tons of river biomes. We have the savanna biome over here. And then over on the right hand side of these mountains, we also do have the snow-capped mountains as well. And as you can see right over here inside of the distance, we have the woodland mansion, which is less than 1,000 blocks from spawn. There is some pretty amazing rivers and gorges. And then if you come over here, you can see that we have a pretty decent aquifer here. Well guys, I must apologize to you because there's not a woodland mansion at spawn. There is actually two of them at spawn. This one is about 1,500 blocks away, and I have never seen one so close to spawn. And I have definitely never seen two so close to spawn. So yeah, definitely check out the seed. It is absolutely amazing. And that is the one that I was just at over in that direction. And the one that I first found is that one over there. I have never even seen them relatively close to being in render distance of one another. And if you're wondering the coordinates for the first one, here they are. How would you like to have that for a backdrop of your base or your woodland mansion? That is amazing. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video and you like the information for the seed, then go ahead and drop a like. It really does help out the channel, and it helps new people find my content. If you have not yet subscribed, then please consider hitting that subscribe button along with the bell notification. That way you get notified on each and every video that I upload. Not only that, you will also be helping me in my goal of reaching 500 subscribers and ultimately getting up to 1,000 subscribers. And that is greatly appreciated. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.